And action. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Better Together podcast. MJ Reevely flying solo, Cassidy and Corey are off doing bigger and better things, but no fear, need no fear. We have a guest. We're actually branching off. I think we're on episode 19 or 20 now. And we promised you guys some conversation with some different people in our community that have had some experience and some exposure to a lot of the topics that we've talked about. Everything from who we are at Fit Society to what we try and accomplish with respect to members and results and holistic health, everything from fitness to community, camaraderie, healthy competition that will serve you well in all areas of your life. So our first guest in that spirit is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Kerry Jackson. He's been around for a day or two with our community. He'll tell you his story, but Kerry is a hell of a guy. I've got to know Kerry over the years on a personal level with conversations, on a fitness level, many conversations. Know him, the family, and more particularly him and his story and process with fitness. But we'll let him speak to that. But it was only natural that our first guest, Kerry, was somebody that had been around for more than a day. So if you could maybe speak to, sir, your story with us, how you came about finding us and what that process looked like from the beginning, and just take us through that and what that looked like for you as a member.
Sure. So thanks a lot, MJ. I appreciate you having an interest and everything you've done to help me in my fitness journey over these last number of years. So, you know what, in my younger years, I played racquetball, worked out a little bit, but I was fairly fit. And then as I got into my work career, just kind of let those things sort of fall off and just got busy with work and got away from any sort of routine, physical working out type things. And so about 10 years ago, my daughter, Amy, was working at Starbucks near your new Studio Fit that was just opening. And she invited me to join her to come check out this new gym that was opening up. So I went over there with her to check it out. And I worked out for about 15 minutes and I was completely winded. It took me about a half an hour just to catch my breath.
Yeah, and still catching it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that kind of started everything. I realized how out of shape I was. I mean, I would say people probably would look at me and say I look pretty good, but I just realized how internally my body was completely out of shape, and I was in so it took me by surprise, and it just made me aware that I had let things go, and I really needed to do something.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys caught that, he said a decade ago. So he's been with us for a decade. August of this year, we turned 10 years old officially, and Kerry's been there and is our longest standing member that long. In that spirit, Kerry, of you being around as long as you have, maybe you can talk about how your experience, like from that first winded session to where you are now, what did that road look like between ups, downs, motivation, consistency, focuses? What did that look like over a 10-year span? Because again, like people listening in, our whole thing is we want people to find a fitness, health, and wellness solution that can be sustainable, and that takes consistency over a long body of work. Did you have highs and lows? What did that look like? What did the evolution and process look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, MJ, I think if you'd asked me when I started, would I make a 10-year commitment or 5-year commitment or something, I think I'd have likely said, yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
And so for me, initially, I had at that point I weighed about 225 pounds, and it was September, and I thought, well, I'm going to give it till the end of the year. So for me, it was really a 4-month commitment to see if I could lose some weight and just kind of see how the thing went. So that's how I started. And, honestly, it's the rare day that I wake up going, yeah, I can't wait to get over to Fit Society to work out today.
Yeah.
So, it's usually, just making the commitment to show up. And, thankfully, to the credit of your trainers and coaches, when I get there, they've got everything mapped out. So if I show up, they'll kind of, push me the rest of the way. So my job is to get in the door and just be there. And then I do have a commitment, when I'm there to work out. I'm not there to mess around. I'm there to make something happen, because I really feel like, in a lot of ways, I feel like my gym membership is like an insurance premium. It's for my, future health. And so I really do look at it that way. I mean, so I'm honestly more or as motivated to, get into my later years in life in a healthy enough condition that I can actually go do stuff and enjoy, the time that I'll have, more than I do in my working career. So, so for me, it's just keeping myself physically fit so I can actually enjoy the later years of my life.
Mm-hmm. That's solid. I think the sooner people come to that realization, either on their own or unfortunately not on their own through forced circumstance, either from a doctor or from a condition or a situation,
Right.
the sooner they'll realize that benefit. What would you, we preach inside of our facility with our program, what we call 5 components of fitness, which is, proper food intake, cardiorespiratory endurance training, resistance training, adequate rest and recovery, and then accountability, motivation, and guidance. Like the delivery system or the umbrella that sits over the top of all of it. You've had exposure to, and I know that you've focused on one thing more than others at times. What can you speak to your person? Because you've gotten great results. You've increased lean mass over time. You've dropped body fat over time. Your mobility's increased over time. You've had a lot of benefits to be gained from these things. With respect to those 5 components thereabout, or the program itself, what kind of advice would you give to fellow members, either inside or outside, just people that want to be fit? As listen, you're a career man. You're a successful career man. You have a family. You've raised a family. Like, you have obligations. Listen, we had to bump this another half an hour because you have things going on, right? Like,
Right.
What would you say to people to like help them maybe focus on their program or where they should put their efforts and energies?
Yeah. Everybody is wired differently. I know for me, I guess initially it's just, off the top of my head, it's making that commitment to just show up, even when I don't feel like it. Because I would say, there's definitely more days I don't feel like it than I do. So,
and would you say, I want to interrupt you there, would you say your motivating factor for that is the insurance policy premium type thing? Is that your why behind that? How do you show up when you don't want to? Because 9 out of 10 people, we could think of better shit to do than showing up to the gym, or that we'd want to do.
Yeah.
What makes you do it?
So that is a big piece of it for sure. That's probably the underlying foundation of it. I do think, like, I've made some real good friendships at the gym. So like when I show up, if I see cars in the parking lot, I recognize, guys I work out routinely. That is just really great, because then I can connect with them and have some camaraderie. We push each other. We talk socially. So there's just, I've got relationships with guys I've met at the gym, and some of the gals. But it's been that helps, just because you look forward to seeing that person there and connecting that week or whatever it is. So that's definitely a piece of it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as I said, I think, you guys do a great job, like the variety of the workouts. So it's never mundane. It's never the same. Every workout is different. So I like that aspect too. I feel like I'm getting a total body workout. Over time, I feel like it's touching everything. And you guys do a phenomenal job with like different activities and events that you put on. Sometimes there's some competitions. Something I've never really verbalized this to you, but a lot of gyms that I've gone to in the past are like, I feel like I'm in a bodybuilder gym, and you know me, I'm just not into the bodybuilding. It's just not my deal.
Come on,
And
man, you fool me. You fool me, man.
and it can be intimidating, to some level, but you guys let whoever wants to come work out and just feel better about themselves and do something. Everybody's welcome at any level. So certainly you guys have some, pretty buff guys and gals working out there, but you also have people that are just everyday people that just want to see their health improve. And, it's just, you let people be at their level and you push them at their level. And so for me, you guys have just kind of let me figure out where I'm comfortable, where I want to, push myself. I am kind of an initiator, so I do push myself without having too much, I don't really need too much nudging. Some people probably need more nudging than I do, but I also have that competitive nature to me. And in your guys's environment, it's always been like a really healthy competition. Like it's never competing to be top dog. It's just competing so that I can be a better person.
Yeah.
Whether it's my health, my physical features, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I just appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And we you obviously we're big proponents of, so if you're a member of our community, we're a big proponent of it for the reasons that Kerry just alluded to. Like it serves you well personally, it serves you well physically, different relationships, and ultimately helps be a solution for you getting in shape and staying in shape. But I don't, for those of you that aren't members of Fit Society, our thing is we still value community for those reasons, because when it gets hard or when you don't want to do it, if you have the relationships or you have a place that can welcome you with diverse programming and good coaching and keep you connected through events and seminars and the like, and you put it all together in a package, it's all those little things over time that you lean into more so than others at times that keep you going and make it a lifestyle. So I guess my takeaway from that, from Kerry's perspective, is that's why we're believers in community fitness. That's why the Big Box Globo Gym in and of itself is antithetical to our model and what we do. Yeah. We just feel people get lost in it. You don't want to. And when you don't get lost or you don't want to, it leads to, being frustrated, and the frustration leads to cancellation, leads to, I'm not progressing. Yeah. So, no, it's good. And it's well appreciated. We tried hard to facilitate that, guys, or for you guys. Back to the, I guess.
Let me add one point to that, MJ. Yeah. So like, when I go to the gym, like if I'm out traveling somewhere or whatever, and I try to work out on my own, like it's weird, but I do not push myself nearly as hard. I don't work out as hard. I don't get nearly as much out of my workout. So there's something about having you guys, like with the schedules, you've already got the workout scheduled ahead of time, and you've already thought through this. It's a very well thought out system. Yeah. And so it's a combination of having the workout already set up for me, and the group. There's something about working out in a group that's just different than working out on my own. And I don't know how to really pinpoint exactly what the difference is, but I can tell you I work out way harder in that group than I do on my own.
I too happen to be one of those human beings. Everybody go, oh, you're the owner. You've done this forever. It must be nice because you work out all the time, right? Well, I do work, and I do like working out. But if you put me by myself, I'm going to do probably 25 to 50% at best of effort and output, and experientially enjoy it that much less. Right. Than I would be in a group setting as well. I mean, very selfishly, our model, our product is I'm an ideal consumer of it, which makes sense naturally. There's not a very big disconnect there. Can I work out on my own? Sure. Do I want to? No. And for those reasons. So it's a point well taken, and why we believe in a relationship, community driven model. Going back to, maybe we'll finish up, Kerry, with some results stuff, because at the end of the day, our mission is clear. We want to connect, challenge, and inspire people to be better together. Nowhere in that mission does it say anything about make Kerry the most physically fit human being it could be. Yeah. Do we want that? Yeah. We value fitness. We value community in doing it. We value excellence and becoming the standard. But one of the things that we that shapes all of this is our code, and we have a work, play, achieve code. Work meaning we know rent's due and we pay our way. Play meaning we take ourselves serious, but ourselves not too seriously, and we try and have a good time. And the social events and the camaraderie, that stuff matters. But the achieve word is important. And when I hear the word achieve, it means get it done. It means results. So in the spirit of results, because you've been a guy that has participated in our body transformation challenges before. You've been a guy that's done just the regular workouts. You've done some supplemental stuff with our Move and Correct program. You've really gone back and forth all over these areas. Of the components that we talked about, the nutrition, the resistance training, the cardio, etc., which of the components do you feel is the most important, or would be the most beneficial when it comes to results, looking good and feeling good?
Well, definitely, the nutrition piece is huge. You guys have introduced me to Scratch Culinary, so that's helped with some of my nutrition. You've brought in some different guest speakers that talk about nutrition. I really enjoy eating sweets is kind of my downfall. So,
Don't we all, brother?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
So figuring out, strategies of like, instead of eating 5 cookies, maybe I can just have one, and still feel satisfied.
Teach me your ways, man.
Yeah. And you've also brought in the mental component, how we think, and you've had some seminars where you've taught them yourself. You've brought in some other people, but there's been a number of things that you've taught me over the years. I'm like, they just stick with me. It's just a mindset. So I think that's also helped me. As far as results for me, like I started out at 225. I've been holding between 205 and 210, pretty steady. And so that's good. So I've lost, 15 or 20 pounds, and I've been able to maintain that over the years. Where it shows up is like, especially when I'm doing some physical thing, like maybe I'm moving, helping somebody move stuff, or maybe I'm out, doing something rigorous, something a little more strenuous. The other day I was cutting limbs off of a tree, and I have way more energy and stamina. And especially, tell you where it really shows up is when I compare myself. I'm 57. When I compare myself to other 57-year-olds, I'm like, dang, like it's then I really realize where the benefit has been, because it's sort of I don't always notice it when I'm day to day. I don't really see much progress, but then you look at when you see things from a bigger picture, it's like, oh, I guess this is making a big difference.
Yeah, well, you for sure are a weirdo. And I mean that in the most endearing way, as a 57-year-old that's made the commitment. Number one, that's followed through with action. Number two, that's lived it out sustainably. Number three, because so many people can get in shape, only get out of shape. So that's one of the main reasons why I want to have you on, not just because you're our longest standing guy, but you're one of our longest standing guys that exudes and leads a lifestyle conducive to what you want on a holistic approach. And that takes work and energy and effort. So we wanted you to be able to share that. So I think my takeaway from you is the nutrition component and the mental aspect behind it is paramount if you're going to do it for any sustained period of time. And and kudos to you for doing that. Is there anything else you'd want to share about either your experience or what you think somebody might get some benefit from before I send you out of here?
I don't want to keep hammering on this issue, but like when I look at people, like I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise ship or something where you're out traveling, but there's so many older people on scooters or walkers or whatever, and I'm like, they're not that old, and I'm like, right. I just don't want that to be me.
Yeah.
So I think people need to like seriously consider, what path they're on, and because that that is where you're heading if you don't make a change, right? So for me, when I realized, man, I can't even hardly work out for 15 minutes and be completely winded, it was a wake-up call for me to say, I needed to take charge of my health, and so that is the foundation underneath, why I keep showing up week after week after week. is I don't want to be on a scooter, trying to navigate around a cruise ship. I want to be able to go out hiking and biking and, do stuff and be able to enjoy my life.
Yeah. And I think, at least on my end of it, being a small business owner in fitness, one of the things we hear a lot of times when we're out and about in a community, you're like, oh, you're over at Fit Society, or oh, you're a fit guy or whatever else. Oh, when you get my age, you'll understand that you just can't whatever else. And I'm like, Kerry Jackson, 57, man. Like, you know what I mean? No excuses. But then to their point, you do have to have a program, a facility, a group of people that can facilitate that. And I think we try hard to do that with our programming, and programming is only as good as the coach coaching it, to be able to individualize those things, modify those things. And it takes two parties working together over time. But if anybody gets anything out of this, is like, you're too old, bullshit. Bull friggin' shit. You're not too old. Oh, you're 50 pounds overweight. Well, we've done it with people that are 100 pounds overweight. So like, it's all noise, and you've lived it out. So, kudos to you. Again, that's why I wanted to have you on. And as we wrap up here, I just want to thank you for being a part of it for so long, and for being what we'd call an ideal member, man. If we could package a bunch of Kerry Jacksons from 12 to freaking 92 at different ages, and that's we do it, brother. So appreciate you being a part of it, and the support, and other people watch too. Other people are watching. You go, man, what's that guy all about? Like 57, and wait, he's only 57. I thought he was 45 or whatever. And it for sure is a result of the commitment and living that healthy lifestyle. So kudos to you, brother. Appreciate you coming on and taking the time, and we'll see you at the fit.
That sounds great. Thank you. And I appreciate you and the coaches, the trainers you guys have. Just everything's been just a really great experience.
Sweet. Thanks, Kerry.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you want a Fit Society autograph shirt by Kerry Jackson or hat, just email info@fitsocietyaz.com. We'll figure it out. All right. We'll see you later. And cut.